Hello everybody, welcome to a video where today I'm going to be running through me building this castle. This castle is a part of my parkour map that I'm building, and it's yeah, that's pretty much it. I started on the parkour map and I wanted to build a castle, so I ended up just doing this, and yeah, I'm just going to do it and talk about how I built it. So let's go. So obviously I began by creating the landscape, so I just begun with a super flat world and began using sand to basically just escape out the mountains and just ground in general. This took a surprisingly large amount of time considering how big the world is, and it ended up looking pretty bad, but I do fix it later. It was mostly because of like how the sand fell, and it just looked really like not how terrain in Minecraft is supposed to be. So I created an outline and then I filled it all in, and then I added some mountains on the inside, and yeah, so I'll just skip this stage because it's kind of boring to watch, and yeah, let's just go to the next stage. So after I finish doing the landscape, as you can see it looks very bad, but I do smooth it out later. I begin building a house, and this is the spawn point for the parkour map. It has nothing to do with the castle, but I thought I'd just include it in. So I'm gonna skip onto the castle build now, and so this is when I actually start building the actual castle. So I begin by mapping it out with red wool and planning out all where the towers will be. Then once I do that, I begin working on one of the towers, which I then will copy and paste. So each of the tower design is going to have some details on the side, and if it's on the edge, I'm going to add a dragon head to it, as it's just going to add that little aesthetic look, make it look a bit better. So a lot of the time is figuring out how to actually like position it, but then I end up just copy and pasting it into the air and just using them as Lego bricks because it kept getting stuck in the dirt, and yeah, it was just kind of a big mess. So yeah, it took a while finishing off the dragon head. I think it did turn out quite well because it looks quite nice, and I would admit that the front of the head looks kind of chonky, bro. But the rest of it looks quite alright, and I'm just copy and pasting it to the other side, the details, and I'm gonna do the corners of the things and just add a bit more. Once I finish off the dragon head, I change the actual cobblestone pillar to stone brick, and I begin working on the corners of them, and yeah. After I finish this, I then remove it all because it didn't look very nice there, and I moved it into two separate sections. So one is the actual tower, and the other part is the dragon head. So I'm going to be using these for all of the towers, and ooh, that hurts my arm. But yeah, I then copy and paste this tower on all of them, and you can see how you can anticipate how the actual castle is going to look just by these towers, and yeah, that's pretty much it. After I get the wall design, I then paste it all over and fill in the tops, which gives me this very nice aesthetic look all over the castle. The gaps in them make them look quite nice, and if I fly out here, you can see the entire castle starting to take shape. So this is just the outer wall. There's going to be some more buildings on the inside. I then go over to the wall design that I built and add lighting into it, and just add some around. There's not much light levels at night, and especially when I'm using shaders, it's quite hard to see, so I add some light around just to make sure it looks stunning night and day. This wall here looks kind of bland and it's too big. The glowstone gives it a little extra touch because it kind of breaks the pattern that's going all along it. After this, I clear out the inside because there was too many hills and mountains just coming out. So using mask, I just kind of remove it and make it a flat surface for me to easily build on. Also, just a quick note, there's no interior in this, so if you're looking for interior, then I'm not your guy, because this build, it's very massive, and I didn't think I would have enough time, ideas to put interior in. So. Also, it's just a parkour map, so this is still that. So I'm just building the exterior so I can jump on it and make it nice. I also threw in this quick house here, and since it's raining, it looks quite sad, but it does look quite nice, and there's a command block with a checkpoint. Yeah. Okay, so after this, I then start building the inside by adding two pillars in, one higher than the other, because that's going to be like the highest part of the build, and a small box just to show where the actual building's going to go, and I can look at it from all angles just to make sure it looks nice. So I begin just adding some more details in, and adding the inner wall and how it's going to look. So I add more of these gaps because they do look quite nice. I add kind of a randomized pattern along it, and at the bottom I have these like kind of staircase, weird, old looking things, you know, I don't know. I took a short moment from this part of the build and I went over here because it looked kind of flat, and compared to the parts I wanted something to stick out. So I began working on a kind of like roof thing, I don't really know. But it ended up looking really great and I don't regret it, and it looks quite nice. So I made a quarter of it, then copy pasted it over, and I really like the little circle patterns I put in here. They really do help add because circles aren't like a normal thing in Minecraft, and these curves they really do change from the rigid lines. Now that it's daytime, I'm gonna come over here and I begin building a roof. So I had 3 different designs. I started off with two block half slab up and then just slabs up, and then I ended up sticking with this kind of design because it didn't fit in tall enough. So I then added in this wall, and then I began working on the side of here, which I just added a small little pattern just to make it look nice side. I didn't want to just make it plain wood. Now, my friends did tell me that it did look really grey. I have to agree, but I do add some more, like, I added some red flags later on. More wood, but shaders, I think it looks quite nice, and I like how it's like grey and old looking. It's kind of a medieval build, so once I finish that, I copy and paste it over to the other side and start working on the next part. On the roof, it looked kind of bland, so I added a window with some glass on. It's like some of the only colourful blocks on the build, so I just kind of just messed around with it, and I originally only had it halfway, but then I extended it all the way because I thought it looked nice on both sides, and I didn't know what to do because it stuck up above the roof. I then got this little thing that I made and copied and pasted it over like most of the towers. Then see up there that I've got like the Lego bricks of all the buildings. And so it's actually really simple if you think about it. A lot of it is to do with World Edit, and if you look around you can see all the pieces that I've created up there. I've just copied and pasted everywhere and used it over and over, and the patterns that it creates look really nice. Yeah. I then start work on the next section because I want a like higher roof. So I began making this kind of design on it, which makes it taller for it to have more depth and height, because right now it's looking kind of flat, especially the towers, and added a roof onto the top of the thing that I've already built, and yeah, I kind of just get this and copy and paste it around. Not too many of them have it, like pretty sure like half of them have it, and I do connect some of them with roofs and stuff. Like, this one over here, I do add a little roof between two, so out of wood, giving it more color. Kind of looks great. And quick note: I never really build big things. This is like my first big thing that I've usually ever built, so I'm pretty proud of it, and hopefully I can get better in the future, make some even better things. But as you can see on the dragon head, I didn't flip it over right, so this half doesn't have it. So I do fix that later and extend it out one. I noticed that some of them don't have the outside layer on them, so I do come and fix up. As you can see, I'm not a professional with World Edit, and also I begin working on the roof here, which adds some more color. After this, I do add some details, a little round, and start trying to fill in the empty gaps to make sure that everything has a texture on it and it's not just plain. So I want to make sure of that, because plain walls, even though sometimes they can work in this kind of build where everything is so detailed, a plain wall does really stick out. And here's me just talking to my friends and jumping around the roofs. I look really stupid and sped up, but I then add this little wall design which I add to like everything. Once I do this, I add torches along all of them just to make that nice night aesthetic, just so you can see it and it looks epic. I also add these little flags on the top, so yeah, these flags are just there for nice and add a bit more color. I also start work on this, which is just a huge stone box. So I've added some details on this side, not really on any other sides. So I did add some on this actually, but yeah. So then again, I didn't add any interior, so it is just a huge box, solid, nothing inside of it. So yeah. I then add another pillar here. So this is going to be a 2-pillar kind of thing. gonna have like things in between them. So I connect all of it up, and it just becomes one big build with a standalone tower off to the side. Spend a little bit of downtime just doing the parkour. Now this is where I get quite close to the end, and I begin building the actual like top part. So this is basically the end part. So yeah, I just start adding bit here. I do get quite lazy, and the building at the end here doesn't look as good as the rest of it. But you know, that's because I was building for like 3 hours straight. Okay, leave me alone. But you know, I think building is really fun, and you guys can probably get into it as well. Especially even if you're not that good. I wasn't very good when I started, but I just did it because it was fun and relaxing. I like drawing. But this hurts my soul. It's just one off here. Every single one. I did it one off. I do fix that later. Then copy and paste it to the other side. And I don't know, they kind of look like windows, but not really windows, like doors or windows. But then I have this little roof part here, just so if you're looking from this angle, that it looks nice. So my favorite angle is definitely from this like hill over here, or this house, all the way over here, because you can really see like a lot of the stuff. And in the background, also, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I then add the little wall structure all the way along here as well. Give it some more, just to make it not flat, you know. And this is a parkour map again, so I want to make it not too much stuff sticking out, so you can't parkour and cheese your way. So I begin adding the roofs, and it's kind of handmade up, iron going up each time by 2 until I finally reach the peak. And then instead of making it just a straight cross, I make it go outwards like this. Yeah, so I'd done that. I had copied and pasted it all the way to the other side, and yeah, this is pretty much where the build ends. I then do some tidying up because some of the walls had a little bit of plane. Then I add the little like handway design onto here. Yeah, and then I delete all these Lego bricks over here, and that's pretty much the entire build. And I'm just gonna show you it, and this is like one of my best builds ever that I've done. Peace out, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Yeah.